that? 929.
I'm gonna go through your page too, so don't get
929-477.
Yeah, because why? Mama still broke. Let's go over.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Is it live? Okay, y'all. Yeah. Okay.
My bad, Chief.
Why you ain't hold on.
It sound like John Legend. That's the John Legend song?
85.
That's my dog right there.
Okay. Is the pen over there, bro? No. Okay, great. You gonna bring me in to come in since y'all can't bring me in. Bring us in. Come on.
First verse he played was Tupac. Come on. I forget what song this is, though. This sound like a song.
Okay, right on. Bring me on in after that. Fremont, we locked and loaded. Fremont. This is Comrade. Oh, that was press one.
You are now in the host queue.
My fault, that was me just tapping in. Bring me, cut that, bring me right in. Y'all bear with us as we say cub with us for a few seconds, y'all. We can come in loud and direct and spirit of making history, taking history, y'all. Hands up. That's me. We locked and loaded. Locked and loaded. Locked and loaded. We live and direct. Fremont, right on. Heads up, eyes open, and fists clenched. Y'all know what time it is. The spirit of making history, taking history, taping history. Y'all welcome to another episode of Fremont Radio here, Intellectual Radio. In fact, if you can't take a pause for the calls, open those front doors, those back windows, let them know that we are live and direct again. Weekly program of the Black Panther Party Cubs. Take that pause for the call, let them know we rolling, y'all. In the spirit of making history, taking history, taping history. Calling number is 929-477-3785. To get the link, get in with us, you have to press 1. I am self-critical. Forgive me, y'all. Y'all said we don't do no commercial. I try to take that water tab off, and I definitely don't be trying to do no commercial for no Dunkin' Donut. But I need this coffee. I know it's gonna be a live show. I know it's gonna be live and direct, y'all. I'm getting focused. Got a brother here, who I've been impressed with, man. He's gonna tag team with us in the studio. I'm gonna let him introduce himself to everybody that you know who he is, what he got going on. I'm really inspired too in this stage in the game on the subject matter I'm talking about too. You know what I'm saying? The music, because you say everything is political, including music. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tie this in with the subject matter at hand. I know it's a big case in regards to the the child. You know what I'm saying? The 14-year-old little brother Cornell Hood, his mother, Carlisha Hood, the young man that was taken when it was murdered, Jeremy Brown. We're gonna talk about the political. I want to really touch into this. As we say all the time, ain't no cliff notes in Cub class. That's gonna be some sensitive. We'll touch on some sensitive things. And it's not saying no cliff notes. I just said to a sister earlier. I said I got here to do the program tonight, and she had questions. She didn't inquire. She said, "Well, haven't they been released? Has the mother and child been released?" I said, "Well, yes, they have been. However, this is bigger than legal. This is, what I'm saying, the dynamics is a summation is warranted. You know what I'm saying? For so many dynamics that impact our community. In other words, a lot of times we just think we just can get a legal summation or a quick sound bite. But the different dynamics, you know, so a lot of people say, "Oh, he come Chairman Free, he won't go to a long summation." But we, in certain cases, one, we can't afford no reactionary responses. Two, that we really want to seize the time when when the people's pores are open to have certain discussions. You know what I'm saying? As I said before, like that people become conscious or get involved in struggle one of three ways: inspiration, aspiration, or desperation. And just as anything in our community, whether we talking about the way we engage or we disengage with each other, the way the system sees us, the way I typically say, what does that do with the system? People say, well, it's just black folks, and that's a lot of our people, a lot of situations in our community, we are forced to suffice for elementary response such as that, just to say what just happens, whether we talking about the crime, whether we talking about sort of addiction, mental illness, sexuality, isn't to other communities. Something happens in other communities where you hear a more advanced assessment. In other words, like, well, let's check into, was the narcotics usage. We're talking to the person, saying that you get these cases of these young white children go up in the movie theaters or whatever the case may be, or how they respond and say, they do background check and say, well, man, this guy was bullied by other children the day before. And even if it's generational, again, nothing in our community can just suffice with that. But a lot of times we take that and we keep it moving. Even the politics of the environment, like the fast food restaurants, you know what I'm saying? I was talking to Sister Comrade Pam Africa from the Move family in Philadelphia, and I was drawing a correlation to even that what they call the Jewtown Polishes, and I said that area. I said used to be just an area reference to Jewtown, and it's kind of pervasive, like in Philadelphia, the Philly cheese steaks and so on and so forth, and you know what I'm saying. And there's a certain like even in the eateries in our community, you know what I'm saying. It's like every other entity, like the party place, whatever. It's a toxic environment. It's a toxic environment. And, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not just talking about the food that we force to give, but the environment of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a toxic environment. I mean, you can, you go to gas stations, whatever. You know what I'm saying? How the lack of, how you go to gas station to, everything from the food. You getting gas, the same place you getting food. You know what I'm saying? And the way the merchants talk to us, people say, "Oh, here come Chairman Free. He always gonna blame the white man of the system," and we do. The different dynamics. Then, if you know what I'm saying, so the aura, like this, we go to certain places. You know what I'm saying, like eatery, so on and so forth. A certain climate that you says a tone where this ain't supposed to happen here. This and your body language, all that. Psychological profiles, all that. I'm gonna touch on that. I'm gonna say this with all due respect. I want to encourage a lot of our listeners. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying respectfully. Man, grab a red couch and lay back and because again, this is brought out, this is tapped into, and I want to say this to I'm saying this in particular for for the families, for all parties involved with this case, because I know there's been a lot of slander and attacks and jokes made. You know what I'm saying? People taking lightly. And I know it's hard. It's easier said than done. Don't take a lot of this personally. That, you know what I'm saying? Because the deal is, a lot of people are expressing their pain, their internal, and it's not even at the case at hand. In other words, issues with men and women, from childhood damage. You see, I guarantee you, there's so many breakups right now. And I guarantee you that stuff that may have been dormant, kind of like they talk about during the era of the coronavirus, the pandemic, during the pandemic. They say it was a lot of divorces and all that, but it was stuff that was dormant already, but that it intensified it. You know what I'm saying? You right there, you were forced to see certain situations. There are conversations happening now with people that a lot of people didn't know, you know, since they harbor, but it's not this, and though these respective families may be the poster child, but the deal is, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like, a best correlation I can give you is like, as a servant of the people, as organizers, you know, chanting the Black Panther Party Cubs, a lot of attacks and the slander that people do, so they levy towards is really not at me personally. It's this name for Black people. You know what I'm saying? And I acknowledge that. You know what I'm saying? I remember a case. I just arrived in Oakland, California, and it was what we call layovers, places where we stay. You know, layover is like organized. This was, in fact, not to switch subjects, but this Marcus Garvey, one of their layovers was the grandparents, the home of the grandparents of James Amos, who played James Evans Good Time. He was impacted by that. The UNIA, when you traveling, you know what I'm saying? I tell people, oh, you got these hotels, the people houses, these are layovers, places you arrest at, and you know what I'm saying? You exchange information, food, all that plays a role. But one place I stayed in one time in Oakland, I just came in, and it was on the TV was the uprisings. Notice how they say the riots, but the uprisings, rebellions that was occurring in Baltimore after Freddie Gray was murdered by the police in Baltimore. As soon as I came in, and the lady, they showed the image of the mother, like going to beat her son on TV, and it triggered something with the lady whose house I just walked in. She says, right, and all of this disdain came out. She said, "Why they tear up their own place? Why y'all tear up why y'all tear up our own places in the community?" She went straight. I mean, the venom on me. Now, I'm landed. I didn't know it was even going on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want into what's going on, but automatically, she released it on me. You know what I'm saying? And I tell so I want to reiterate that to the respective families. You know what I'm saying? That's who, you know what I'm saying? Because the deal is to have an objective discussion about this. We got to talk about the joints, all the restaurant joints, the climate that's there, all that. You know what I'm saying? How we view all this, even the type of narcotics that's in our community. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people so detached from our community. They think these cats out here now. And this is no indictment. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Don't know the different assessment, but even when you don't, see that when you subjectively say, well, what you saying, Chairman, was the guy, was he high or not? Whether that's the case or not, but the climate, in other words, a perfect example with that, the block I grew up on Inglewood, a little brother was dealing with a sister next door to me. And he said, "Man, I like this block. I want to set up shop here." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." I say, "Dig this here." I said, "Take a walk with me for a minute." I say, "This block intentionally ain't, you know what I'm saying, we don't allow no hustling over here." He said, "No, man." He said, "Man, I'm just." He said, "He's just gonna do it in the house. Ain't gonna be no." I said, "No. I said, let me tell you how it bleeds over in the community." I said, it's kind of like when Park said, "Brenda's got a baby." The guy said, "How does that affect the whole community?" So I told the brother, "Take a walk." We left Wood. We walked 3 blocks east. The block he lived on, the block he hustled on. We went on the block. I said, before I went there, I told my block, I said, "Look around. Watch those little girls. Watch them playing double dutch rope. Watch the brothers pitching pennies. Watch their body language." He studied it. I said, "Watch them. Watch their response when cars roll past." I said, "Check all that out." I said, "Now come with me on your block." When I went to his block, I said, "Step back in the gangway. Don't let them see you. Look at the hardness in those little sisters' faces on your block. Look at use no double dutch rope. Watch the response when the car ride past. Watch the damage. Watch the response." He said, "Man, it's like day and night." Field Marshal George Jackson, the Black Panther Party, said capitalism not only affects the economy, but it affects the psychic of the people. It not only affects the economy, but it affects the psychic of the people. A lot of times people want to devalue this to legal, or the case is over with, no, or just financial, you know. So Our niche is the politics. Now I'm talking about electoral politics. I'm talking about the words, terms, fashion, how we relate to each other, how we see a situation, what taps into you. You know what I'm saying? What's dormant in you? How do you view black men? How do you view black women? How do you view children? What was your response to see to even hear about a 14-year-old child being locked up? In Florida, just had a 8-year-old girl cuffed her. What makes a system so comfortable to do, you know what I'm saying, to do this? Also, how we engage with each other. We're gonna talk about that and much more here on Freedom on Radio. Spirit of making history, taking history, taping history. Y'all, let's get locked and loaded, y'all. 929-477-3785. Press 1. In the meantime, between time, y'all, we still riding. You know what I'm saying? We ain't in the breaks. We get a curfew. You might want to move around. We ain't set tripping. We respect no colonial borders. You know, so we moving around. My brother, let us know. Probably a lot of the younger audience, y'all probably hip to him already, though. Let me give a shout out to Brother Mr. Caleb. It's these breakfasts with men they've been doing. And sometimes you hear that, you're like, oh, a lot of times people take the antagonistic. What you mean breakfast with men? What the women at? We come from a society where Sheikh Anta Diop talked about, as opposed to the Western society. Where we can come and we work in harmony with the gender, men and women, animals, you know what I'm saying? It can be contradictions, not necessarily antagonistic contradiction. In other words, where stones can be stones and disciples, not necessarily into crimson blood, men and women. They don't mean that one doesn't come at the expense of another. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be attacking you. And this breakfast with these brothers, I'm talking about, you got forces from different age range. In fact, it was a birth child. In fact, not just Mr. Caleb, but a lot of your young brothers, you know what I'm saying, in particular. Yeah. And it crosses, I like so many things about it. It crosses generational lines. I'm talking about, you got older young cats, you get the, and you can just, your oral respect, you can feel it there. You know, it's the networking. Ain't, you know, ain't no pissing contest. You of course, we come without, keep your ego. You need that. But it doesn't come at the expense of checkers override somebody else. And I touched down this brother. He said, man, I had so much respect for your father, Chairman Fred. We open, we talking this, man. I told him the work we doing, even following up with us, and it's on. But I just want to shout out this breakfast these brothers be having. And, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I tell you, we're told to believe that they run us this facade. Everybody wants the same thing, but that's what I'm saying. But that's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Sisters might have a thing with sisterhood. They got to be a man bashing, and vice versa. Men get together. They got to be attacking women. The system position is that in order to be a successful prison warden, a lot of people got to go to jail. In order to be a successful hustler, cats got to have habits. That's capitalism. One comes at the expense of another. You know what I'm saying? We come from a different cloth. We can have differences. That's why, like, even the movie Judas and the Black Messiah went through a whole thing about the way organizations would play. Like, because reality, the real me with Chairman Fred, they're gonna meet with Chief Malik. A lot of people say, okay, well, a lot of people talk this machismo, which gang won, who won, who won the pissing contest. To win points of unity, to acknowledge there are differences, there are different circumstances, you know what I'm saying, in different communities, you know what I'm saying. Stephen Biko talk about in parts of in his African history where we will get around the beer keg, talk about politics and relationships, so on and so forth. I'm gonna talk about my concept as a child. Growing up, I remember sitting on the corner. Now I remember listening to this brother who had a hell of an impact on my life. It's Cat Michi, man, and it's like his wife at the time. And just listen to their struggles. When you went in, you know what I'm saying? When they went going out, I remember this as a youngster, hearing this, how this impacted us, how, like even to the point we would see her later on about her, that she going to the store by herself. I respect, to make sure she's straight care, the groceries, all that, different dynamics of children, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to sound like it's romanticism, but structure. I'm gonna say this again. See, I be think we be true and say Chairman Free Hampton. Ain't no ego tripping. One of America's policies is to create chaos, then restore order. Create chaos, then restore order. You think Chicago, again, was the last major city that the U.S. government brought crack cocaine in? Not because it was by happenstance. They had to dismantle structure. Fluky Stokes had to be murdered. Chief Malik from Jeff Ford had to be in prison. There were certain dynamics that had to be moved. This city had such a structure at the time. I remember the amphitheater. They had a concert. And the GDs was taken to a different direction. You know what I'm saying? Even this thing with the name change, the growth and development. And when Face formed on Scarface, notice how I go through. I specify. I'm really respectful about names and terms. I'm very respectful about that. And he done a song, "Gangsters Don't Live That Long." Some young cats, they booed because they had complexes. You know what I'm saying? And the word that got down to the joint and came back down to the streets that same night. The same night, I remember, and they were addressed. The same night, they were just, it was checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? Cats and like organization. We're told the system tells us everything they use. They tell us it's bad for us. They say the gun is bad. They say organization is bad. And we eat it up. You know what I'm saying? No structure in your community. There, you know what I'm saying? No men, no women, no, you know what I'm saying? Community. You know what I'm saying? Those terms are important. Who the candy store lady was. You know what I'm saying? Who was what? We had people say, oh man, it was great back then. No, we had contradictions. It was rules of engagement. How you dialogue with people. You know what I'm saying? Who, you know what I'm saying? We knew like it was structured like, well, that's the crazy uncle there. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was a lane with how to deal with that. Our communities have been destabilized and not by happenstance, but everything from gentrification, the land grab to you name it. Even the type of drugs that cats would engage in. You know what I'm saying? Like it was certain times you can see a cat, oh, he on this particular drug. You know what I'm saying? Or she's on this particular drug. Now, it's the synthetic, the chemical biological warfare that's hitting us. They just had in Kentucky yesterday. They say a massive overdose. You know what I'm saying? And it's strategic. My brother, forgive me. Get in with us, man. That's what we got. We're honored to have here.
I go by the name of Rico Shy. I represent Healthy Hood. I'm a captain now. And basically we serve the Black and brown community over there on 2242 South Damon Avenue. We just did a free food program today and gave out over it was a lot of groceries. It was a lot of families in today. And one of our main inspirations is the Black Panther Party. The Rudy Lozano is the one that got the bloodline with the Black Panther Party. He worked with your father, Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. But we are basically revolutionizing, bringing back the youth to work in the communities. I'm 27, and my main objective I'm also a musician. I didn't even introduce myself as a musician. I rap, I make music, I'm an artist. I just got off Sway in the Morning. We went to Sway in the Morning last month. Did the freestyle, the 5 Fingers of Death, murdered it. You can look me up, Rico Shy, RECOECHI, RECOECHI. I'm true to this hip hop.
Matter of fact, I know we get caught up too. Your handles too, so people can follow you too.
On all my socials is RECOECHI, RECOECHI. I'm Rico Shy. And John Monopoly is my manager. John Monopoly is an investor for me as well. I represent Hustle Period. It's a label. But me personally, I work within the community. That is a part of my brand, as a part of who I am. The reason I went to Healthy Hood was because I felt like I wasn't in the community enough. Being 27, I'm looking around. Ain't none of the people my age in the community, and these young brothers, they need us. I work with the Males to Men program with Hip Hop Detox with Brother Enoch through the Nation of Islam. And we take in a lot of these kids that are 16, 17, 18, that's really in the streets. Not no kids that's not really from the streets, but these kids that's from the streets, and we are shifting their mind and make them think as a grown man should, to basically pull them out of the streets, to get them to thinking about their future, to making them tap back in with their inner child. Because a lot of these brothers, they forgot about their inner child because they're in defense mode all the time. Especially the kids I work with. Just this whole week, I've been giving my lunch away to kids this whole week, just because these shorties ain't got nothing in their fridge at the crib. One of them had just chips and noodles. I ain't believe until I walked in.
What's the age range again? You working with what age range?
Between 16 through 18.
Yeah.
But we also work with the 24. It's really 16 through 24. But my target is that range. But my target is to catch them right before they go to college. Because if you could transform their mind right before they go to college, I feel like they'll go to college. Even they ain't even gotta go to college. But the ones that is going to college, you go to college to think about what you got to really educate yourself with, because we all know it's a system going there. But if they go with the mindset of being their own entrepreneur, it'll be different versus you going there and you trying to get their education, go there to develop your network. That's what I'll be teaching.
What's some of the what's some of the major issues or discussion, Matt, with this age? Again, the age range, what, 16 to what?
16 to 24.
16 to 24. What's some of the and again, I don't be careful. I don't want to do what I call I want to do what I call net fishing. Net fishing. When I talked to my mother Conrad earlier, she said, "Chairman, is that a word you made up, or that's why you said?" She said, you I said, "It's an actual reality, but it's a term."
Yeah.
I had came to this. I told the sister the other day. She was it was some case happened with some dude. Some you probably know about it. Some guy. He had bit some lady on the face or something. And she said, yeah, and the lady said, "See how y'all black men are?" I told her, "So why don't you get you a fishing rod?" She said, "What you mean? Why you say that?" I said, "As opposed to net fishing."
Yeah.
A lot of these blanket indictments, you know what I'm saying? And this goes into our discussion at hand too, though. Like net fishing, it'd be blanket indictments, you know what I'm saying? Cats come through that. And because we all have a certain amount of subjectivity, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell people, I'm critical of my mother Conrad. I say, a lot of stuff you know what I'm saying, like even people being conscious about the movement, I say, I took for granted, you know what I'm saying, that everybody knew certain, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's not the case. You can be, you know, again, for those who might just, you know, subjective, you see your own viewpoint. Like I tell you, I failed 4th year English class in Tilton High School, Mr. Griffin, because I refused to say me or I. I would always say us and we. He wouldn't got the principal. The principal came down. I said, we still saying it, you know what I'm saying? But you subjective, you also not to be just see certain things. But I won't be net fishing even throwing that age, because like I tell you, when you colonize, when you oppressed, you can't go with, and a lot of people don't acknowledge this, you can't go with no conventional definitions. In other words, people like terms like technically a generation is every 21 years, technically speaking. When you start taking into account our conditions, our people, you know what I'm saying? You have to, I can tell people, even with this case in Chicago, I tell people, say, listen, people say, well, how did this, what a child doing with a gun? On 56 in of Ashland one time, about a year ago, I remember this young brother that got shot. Why he's put in the ambulance? The police asked him, "You ain't got no gun? You ain't no gun on you?" You had to put stuff in context. Like in Liberia in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? The child soldiers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The dynamics. You can come with this, you know, abstract elementary assessment, you know, who Virgos, who Capricorns, or, you know, your difference of a child, like, you know what I'm saying? You have to put in context the different dynamics, you know what I'm saying, of just even going, you know what I'm saying, the climate in our communities. It's like, that's why I didn't have no issue with that term Chirac. A lot of people had an issue with that. I said, let's politicize it. Let's draw the correlation to other communities, how the depleted uranium is like the vacant lots. It's like a war zone, you know what I'm saying? And so back to the point of question at hand, I don't want to throw out, because like when I was growing up, I got caught up with I grew up, I caught a generation that got old. I was younger, but I caught them cats. And it was certain, you know, rules of the road, you know what I'm saying, how we moved around. I learned how to shave by ear hustle, listen to other cats talk. And in different periods, like you are impacted by the music, the drugs. I say, it's going to be a different child. This going to be a different little sister that say, I mean, they heard, I ain't got to go the Lauryn Hill, Lady of Rage, as opposed to the phenomenon they get now, Suki Not. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and for those who don't know, this is a big thing in Detroit yesterday. They say she on stage and the two females came, they literally like licked her ass. You know, this is on film, Google it, on Detroit. And so you have a generation that's impacted by that. You know what I'm saying? And so 16 to 24, and it's like, you know what I'm saying, like even the time that we, like even childbearing, you know what I'm saying? And that's the term I'm gonna talk about too. I said they really ain't got to do too much birth control no more. I said, because they got so much hatred brewed between black men and women now. I don't know if cats even engage in relationships no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If they call them on and say, listen, the gladiator game's going out for men and women to fight, cats will be, you know what I'm saying? And this discussion about this case, it's really brought a lot of stuff too, you know what I'm saying? But back to with you, the 16, 24 years old, I don't know if it's different groups, if you say, well, 18-year-olds, that's like one group. No. What's up? All of them, like, what's a major thing they talk, like a major issue at hand with them?
So a major issue at hand with them is purpose. A lot of them even within that age range, you are truly searching for that. And if some people not searching for that, you sleepwalking. So with the whole but specifically, I want to say specifically with my 16 and 18-year-olds, they are just trying to figure out where they could plug in at. So, like for instance, one of them, GD of 93rd Justine, whatever. But he himself, he don't want to be on that type of shit. But he was born in it, not sworn in it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times he can't even go chase after his boxing dream because he boxed in the area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He boxed in the area. He go outside. They on the same shit. A lot of and that's a war zone itself. Then I got my 21-year-old where he just got back from college and he trying to hit the ground running, but he don't know where to run.
Yeah.
He come back from college. You trying to figure out who you are, where your place is in this world. Cause school really, like I said, it's state system. You come back. You ain't graduate, what you gonna do? Oh, you gotta go get that job like everybody else did.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times their concern is money, purpose, and what to plug, like I said, what to plug themselves at. So when we coming and grabbing them, these 16, 18-year-olds, we grabbing them, bro. They telling me, thank you, big bro. Thank you for bringing me here because you put me around a whole bunch of people. It's like the Rainbow Coalition and it ain't just black kids.
Yeah.
I'm putting these black kids around other people so they can learn how to speak. So, but while we in the Males to Men program, they already know we don't play that shit about.
Okay.
Yeah,
And for those who who just be first time tuning in, say, well, damn, you can curse with them. Our party line is, you know what I'm saying, profane terms for profane times. The Black Panther Party line, profane terms for profane times. The real vulgar words are, hunger, you know what I'm saying, gentrification, you know what I'm saying. These are some real and so the deal is we struggle to use brutal terms for brutal reality. You know what I'm saying? We're not just cursing for cursing's sake, but again, it's a nasty reality out there that we get, that we got to acknowledge and got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So we want to heighten those contradictions. So just for people who might be tuning in, you know what I'm saying? Because I think you can push stuff to the side so long, not until we have a reactive response. Come back like damn, I know it's that bad. But it's some brutal conditions out there. We want to acknowledge it on our terms, and not that you just can't throw no icing on it. You know what I'm saying? Shit fucked up.
Yeah, it's real fucked up. But when I'm bringing them around, they are opening their eyes up to see how other people think, and then they around older folks too. Because remember, they 24 and they around 16 through 18. They around these older folks, and at that they Mexican, they Puerto Rican. It's a couple white kids up in there. But it's only 8 black young men. You know what I'm saying? And all them 8 young men, I put all their applications in to make sure that they had these jobs for the summer because I wanted them specifically under me this whole summer. I don't want them doing nothing else. I need them under me.
And you said one of them just came home. One of them, you said he was engaged in boxing.
No, that's the one that's 17.
17.
Yeah.
What's that? Okay, are they are they? I know social media is a real big thing with this age range. Yeah. Are they like current events and stuff like? Do they are they like when stuff happens other places? Or not to be selfish, a lot of times cats be so caught up. Like you said, just a lot of people here that they just like you said, just get home or they got to deal with so many situations. They really can't be concerned what's going on. Does discussion for outside situations go on, like other cities or like who's running for mayor of Chicago? What is that like? Do they talk about that or do even if they don't talk about it? Are they conscious? Do they know about it? You know what I'm saying? They know like some places because I ain't got time to hear about that. Are they conscious? Then I'm going to lead to my next question about this case in regards to Ms. Hood. Mr. Brown, don't talk about all that though. But what are they like outside events and stuff? Are they?
So with that, I would say they be hip to it. Like they hip to the Canada L coming over here and stuff like that because it's in their face. But like the mayor and stuff, bro. To be real with you, it's like the fact that they with us, they gonna engage in those conversations. They're learning about these things, but prior to that, they main thing is survival. That's
Dead.
all they think about,
Dead.
bro. Even matter of fact, I called you bro, Chevy. You know what I'm saying?
It's all
But,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
but real talk, that's all they think about. And I understand that too, because I was there once. You know, I'm just thinking about survival. So that's why I got even more empathy for them. Cause it's like, all right, well, how do I help you out within this time frame? Because I remember I felt like I didn't have no help.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to shorten that time for them. You know, y'all 16, 17, 18, y'all want jobs, so y'all ain't gotta be out here robbing niggas and trying to sell drugs and shit. Come on, we get y'all a job. Y'all need to be up under me. Why y'all doing this job? Y'all gonna get political education too. So that's what I'm on.
How old are you again?
I'm 27. I just turned 27 on June 14th.
Okay, right on. Happy belated birthday. 2 days for parking.
Come on.
Right on. You just turned, say it again, you just turned how old?
27.
You just turned 27. Okay. 20, okay. You got, I think.
I ain't got no kids either.
No children. Okay. Miss Hood, I think she's 35. And I'm not, and I think the guy, Mr. Brown, I think he was 34, 30, 32. I think.
Y'all talking about
the
no, I was
cake.
gonna add, can I use the bathroom?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. He's right there. And show him to him. Okay, you know it's okay. Take a station break for a minute. I'm gonna hold this question. You get back on and ask you somebody, you know what I'm saying, about this. Okay, yeah, we still live. And Sister Curry, we got any callers in queue? 929-477-3. Fremont.
Yeah, we have one caller in queue.
Come on, caller, come in with us. Press 1.
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Welcome to Fremont Radio.
Yeah, I really I'm liking what I hear the brother talking about in terms of each one teach one and trying to reach back and seem to be attempting to do an intergenerational type thing where bringing everybody together and doing the intergenerational thing. I think that's the way we got to go.
Right on. Who I want to know? Okay, well, caller, where are you calling from? I know who to see. I don't. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Toronto. This is Norm.
I know this, Norm, my brother. Love and respect to you. I know. Okay, Toronto, so-called Canada. I say so-called Canada because y'all know we do a lot of work with the indigenous community, native community, our comrades, Canoes and Tiny House Warriors, and so forth. What in Canada? Okay, have you heard about this case at hand we're talking about with the family, the Hood family, Miss Hood and her child, and the young man, was Jerry Brown. They call him the Polish place. It's like a South Side Indiana Polish place. Are you familiar? Are you familiar? Have you heard about the case?
Is that the case where the woman, somebody was jumping on a brother's mother? Is that the case you're talking about?
That's the case. That's the case. And I'm curious. That's the case. I'm curious what came through Canada. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm curious. Like, God, I tell people, you know what I'm saying, like in the media, you know what I'm saying? I'm curious what's the conversation like, you know what I'm saying, about this case in Canada? I'm curious.
Well, first of all, I've only seen it on social media, and I haven't read it. I try to peruse we have 4 daily newspapers up here.
Okay.
I don't believe it's been covered in the newspapers. It's been a social media situation, and people basically we as a people are inundated with so much trauma in terms of they are blowing us away all over the world, including the Great White North, including Canada. So I wouldn't say people are immune to it, but there's so much going on. But I think this case is because there's a mother and a son and a whole question of self-defense. People are taking it that know about it, and I guess you have and I use this so-called, well, the so-called conscious element, they are talking about it, but like I said, like there's 4 daily newspapers up here, and I haven't seen it. I don't believe it's been covered in daily newspapers, but you can get the New York Times and all that stuff online. So people who have some knowledge of following news, it's known, but like
Well, even
I keep on saying.
I just was going to even as you know as well, everything is political, and there's a certain amount of subjectivity that comes with everything, even in particular the media. So even with the social media, a lot of people like with social media, a lot of people think that it's just one general social blast, but the algorithms are political. Like what comes up when what locale receives what information. Like in fact, they talked about like even I think TikTok was created was in China, but they said like the children in TikTok, they have like entrepreneur social media hits and educational hits, but the Black community in particular are blasted with with propaganda bombs of bullshit, for lack of better terms. What sort of, and I'm sure even the case with this, even the way like even I was really like, I'm gonna say this too because some people was calling once the post came on the show. She was came last week, but I didn't get her flyer last week, and I was talking to her earlier, and I was saying, listen, I'm real sensitive about our people, and everything political. Like I remember suspending this one individual that was in our organization. I didn't suspend him myself. We relate to democratic centralism, but it was on a paper that we utilized, a newspaper. He had these children who were from depleted uranium who were dead from bombs from U.S. and Iraq. Then he had these women, who was modeling the fashion show right next to him. This cat was real callous. So you don't see the contradiction. You got that right next to each other, and even I tell to be like even the politics and respectful. Like even today's flyer, I want to be real. I tag team Cassandra Greer and others. I said, what's your feel on this shit? Touchdown, because the politics of certain things that you may not know that that are cutting. And like I tell people, like there's some organizations with logos, everything. And I'm sure like even with the sound bites of the clips with this, they can switch. It can be the same story, but just the image, could be a little different. You know what I'm saying? It could change the whole dynamic. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, I say I tell people the terms, the titles, and the Black Panther Party colors. The Nation of Islam. You put the crest on the other star. I think it's a Turkish flag. You know what I'm saying? In Chicago, is a place like it's structured. Like so like what algorithm? Like what is the social media that you've been seeing over there, kind of how like even the terms saying like how are they like what is it showing? I'm curious, like what I'm saying, the narrative, like some pictures you don't even see the background of the restaurant, you know what I'm saying? And I'm studying the whole dynamics of so what type of narrative with algorithms are people seeing with that?
First of all, like I say, you have four newspapers, 4 daily newspapers, and they are so, what is the word, parochial. Like one of the business paper is called the Globe and Mail. That's the oldest. That's the business paper. The Toronto Star is the liberal newspaper. When I say liberal, they would be like your Democrats, and the Globe and Mail is whoever's in power, or conservative. Then you have people called the Toronto Sun. They are they're just cracker. It's a cracker press, basically. They're just straight up redneck picklewood crackers.
Okay.
And then you have the National Post, which was started by Conrad Black. Now, Conrad Black is a Canadian criminal. He was in prison for a while, but he may have been close to a billionaire. He got busted for a bunch of stuff. He served some time in prison they knighted him in England. He has a newspaper. Now he was married to a woman who got busted in. I think the woman was an Arab woman, and she was busted in Mozambique, going over there messing with Frelimo. They locked her up, and they were talking about executing her. But they started the whole campaign, and she came back, and that is
that composed most of the press.
Is being projected as running just a place for mad black people,
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this.
And they emphasize that black people, black on black crime, that type of thing.
Okay. Let me ask you this. How is Chicago viewed? Okay, are you familiar with the term Chirac? Have you heard that term? Like, how when people say Chicago, what?
I heard the term Chirac first from me years ago, right?
Okay, so when people hear about Chicago, well, let me ask you this question: and what is the race dynamics there in Canada? Like, where you at? What's the race dynamics? You know what I'm saying? What's the race dynamics?
The majority of the people in Toronto is it's multicultural. African people here is very 200,000, 300,000 maybe. The majority of the people in Toronto, I believe, are Chinese.
Majority of people. Is that recent? Because I know that's happening everywhere too. Though, is that recent phenomenon with the Chinese population, or there's something quite some time?
The Chinese population has been here for years, but it's increasing. It's increasing.
Yeah.
So you have people. When my son went to started going to grammar school, he was taught Cantonese.
That's happening.
And the Cantonese, that is the Taiwan and the not so revolutionary China. That's Cantonese now.
That's interesting.
Mandarin.
That's interesting that you pointed that out. That's interesting. That's something I want to talk about too. That's interesting that you pointed it out. Like the not so revolutionary parts of China, correct? And I'm glad you. This is something. A lot of times the black community have it's a culture nationalism, or it's a apolitical assessment. In other words, to distinguish what parts of China, what you know what I'm saying, like in Korea, you know what I'm saying, to distinguish, Kim Il-sung made distinction North Korea, South Korea, and a lot of times you look like in New Orleans and other places where the dope, what part of Vietnam, like you said, the Vietnamese are down there. What part of Vietnam were these individuals from? It was South Vietnam, and they put that like when I was in El Salvador, was MS-13, the Manchu Sutra. The MS-13 were more reactionary, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to the ones that you don't hear about, the MS-18. And then you were able to find out the MS-13, they were more the children who was on the U.S. side of what they refer to as the conflict in El Salvador. And I want this, and that's important to put, like, even the lineage and this like our communities. One of the things that make the Black Panther Party, that climate really stood up. It was a period. I'm gonna say this to everybody. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people carry baggage for generations, and they think it's something they did on their own. You know what I'm saying? And we did them so much. But the Black Panther Party, they went through a cleansing period. It was not just the Black Panther Party. It was a revolutionary period. And people don't know revolutionary. They say no revolutionary, but they're not ready for it. Malcolm X talked about at that time period on the front of Time Life magazine. There was a 14 or 15-year-old girl from China with a 45 her daddy head. Now that blows some cats mind away just to hear that. But and they said, "Why are you doing it?" She said, she translated. She said he betrayed the revolution. It was a period. Sure, then they called it. It was a period. My mother got put out the house she stayed, you know what I'm saying, because of my auntie in them house. You know what I'm saying? And see, when they shook those, they said, "Mom and Dad, we love you." We shaking them. They know white Jesus, ain't no pictures going up in here. You know what I'm saying? It was in that period. And it's a lot of stuff we have to deal with in our community. Like, you know what I'm saying, like the generational, the passing on, the baggage, so on and so forth. And I'm glad you made the distinction, but and it impacts you. You mentioned the language, Kanye West, the age, the time he was in China, the period in his life. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. See, the dynamic, you gonna look at the pictures of him in China. You know what I'm saying? And this is those. He tell you his own. He said his mouth. The movie Get Out was about him. He said out his own. He said that. This impacts your definition of beauty. Right and wrong. You can look at the pictures of him in China. You can see the soullessness, the vacant eyes. As a child, there was certain benefits, certain education, so on and so forth again. But you can see the time period he was there. I would post them pictures. You know what I'm saying? You can see it as a child. And see, the state thinks long range. They think, look.
Before we get off, I got something I want to drop on you.
Yes.
The mayor-elect of Toronto is a Chinese woman, Olivia Chow. She is a social democrat. She was a member of the new Democratic Party. And you know, when you run for mayor in Toronto, you can't use your party. So she's a social democrat, and she's a Chinese. And years she was criticized heavily because she was Chinese, and you know they tried to red bait her, and I wrote a piece on her, what we call Olivia Chow, Ben Bella, and the Bandon Conference.
Mm-hmm.
I had talked about how the Olivia Chow was from China, and how
yes,
the whole Bandon Conference,
yes,
Ben Bella and Uma and Sukarno,
yes,
the whole, I think it was 27 countries, African and Asian countries came together and tried to deal with there was a bloc that was fighting against imperialism.
Yes. Yeah. And that's important. That's important to the point. Like I say, see, politics, like even we had a discussion about the conversations we're doing here locally. What period of time, what part of Chicago, what and it's not a blanket assessment, like I say, like net fishing. So the Chinese, China, there's a different, you're talking about the 10-year China Mao Zedong, the Red Book, you know, so what you know, so the Cultural Revolution. It's imperative, and we have to have some discussions in our community, like what type of drugs are going on in our community, what period of time, the relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like it was, I go places now and I say, hey sister, you can see the fence, like the fence some people take, like what? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The climate, you had a revolutionary climate in the late 60s, you know what I'm saying? It's important to distinguish that. Like I tell people romanticize the 60s. The deal was, one time there was such a reactionary period. Cass was saying terms like, you know, wear my hair fried down, laid to the side, act your age, not your color. You know what I'm saying? You had a revolutionary period where you see the devil disciples and became the black disciples. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The Black Stone Range, the Black Peace Stone Nation. The Vice was the Free Medical Center. But you just can't have a blanket assessment. You had to come with a politics debate. This thing was what period of time, like, you know, like with the Panther Party. When Cass was in the Panther Party, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What period they come in? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's a certain dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like politics, like real estate. You know, and this is something we have to do. Before you take a break from me, I was going to ask you about how this age. I know you like. That's why I pointed out Mrs. Hood, her age, Mr. Brown, the age. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So to put stuff in context of what period we talking about, like you know, like a lot of our history had to be started to be told. Like we had to talk about everything from BC. You know what I'm saying? Not to sound psych. I'm talking before crack or post crack. Because even that dynamic. The impact, how the generations to come, you know what I'm saying? The pills, you know what I'm saying? This era with artists, openly doing commercials for, you know what I'm saying, Perkins, you know what I'm saying? The type of drugs they're doing, the fentanyl, there's a different dope out here now, you know what I'm saying, with the fentanyl, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to 10 years ago. What, hearing about, say it again, bro?
I don't want to cut you, but when you finish, I can.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. I
remember we're talking I remember we were out attempting to, politicize people. And I remember walking up to a brother and I hit him with Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I like the Lakers. I like the Lakers too, nigga, and I like white women, and I eat pork. And I give you another example. I refused to go to Vietnam, and I'm standing on the Los Angeles City College, Los Angeles, California, and I am blowing the United States government away. And Hugh Masekela was there. He had just come from South Africa, and they were getting ready to jump on Hugh Masekela because Hugh Masekela just come from South Africa. He was praising the United States, and I stepped up and I started denouncing the United States. And literally, they were getting ready to move on Hugh Masekela because of he was talking pro-American thing. Now that's another contradiction because he had coming from South Africa. I guess that's what you call that, inter-imperialist rivalry in terms of he saw America as heaven.
Yeah.
Because he had just escaped, and we at that particular time we were beginning to see South Africa. That was like being in Nazi Germany or keep running Mississippi or Jonesboro, Indiana. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Let me. Have you seen the pictures of the brother, the Hood family and the Brown family? Have you seen the pictures of them? You seen any?
Yes.
Have they given it back like human? Have they given any like human factors about them? Like like his schooling, or even Mr. Brown about his family. I'm asking that because I know like with white people, you know what I'm saying, they make sure you go through the whole thing about this, their families and blah blah. The human factor, and I try to do that all the time with our people too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that we look at each other, stats and facts. You know what I'm saying? There's numbers and stuff. Have you heard anything about have you seen any pictures like of, what I'm saying, him as a child, or all the parties involved? You know what I'm saying? Again. What's his first name? Jeremy Brown.
They're trying to stop the news on social media. They're trying to block the news. Whoever the guy who owns the South African guy that owns the Facebook and all of that stuff.
Okay.
What's his name?
I can't think of it right now.
He's trying to. They don't want to pay the writers and stuff, so he's using that.
You can do Google that. Don't you see that too? You know what I'm saying? I want to have because we plan on following up on this again next week. On have that human factor to come in to be definitely a major. The priority with this here. You know what I'm saying? Contradictions and all. I wanted to go visit the young brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if they've been released. The mother's child been released, and I wanted to go visit him. You know what I'm saying? While he was in the juvenile detention. I wanted to go. Reason being, that impact timing. You know what I'm saying? To see images. You know what I'm saying? Black men in particular. You know what I'm saying? To reach out. You know what I'm saying? To come touch down with you, especially in that place. Because a lot of times in those places they have the most messed up representatives of our people. You know what I'm saying? And working these places as a child, that really can impact you. You know what I'm saying? I told this captain in Stateville Prison. I know Captain Manning. He had a notorious beatdown crew. In Stateville isolation, they would wake us up with tear gas and they just come in. Beat down. We woke up. Just rumbling. You know what I'm saying? Jackie Wilson, all of us was in there. And I remember. I told this captain, I told him, I said, you know what, man? I say, if I came from Mars and y'all was the first black people I came into contact with, I said, I would join the Ku Klux Klan. And and that's a lot of times your first contact, like with puppies, you gotta be real careful that a cat don't get to a puppy. It can break his spirit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of their first contact with black people, you know what I'm saying? And especially in a situation like Tupac visited Mike Tyson in jail. Mike Tyson talks about that. You know what I'm saying? That impact, you know what I'm saying, you know, it sticks with you.
Yeah.
And I was really, you know, then I got the word, you know, what I'm saying I was in the process of working to go visit him. Sandra Greer said, man, we can cancel that visit, Chairman. They're coming out. I said, okay, you know, definitely prefer that. You know what I'm saying? But I really, and like I said, I think back with me, you know what I'm saying, the limit, like, in the state, they do certain things, like Pac, the mail, even the mail, they would stop certain mail from coming to me. And a lot of times, you know, like you can see, so, like the mail from Madonna would come in to Tupac, but they would stop other mail. You know what I'm saying? And you have to, like, you know what I'm saying? And you would think, well, this person reaches out for me more. You know what I'm saying? But these are entities that they notice, like your first, like the gorillas in Africa. The poachers would kill the mother and father, and the first milk that baby gorilla see is from that white lady's hand. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And the gorilla things like, well, gorillas ain't shit.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This happens in our community a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come in, their first concept of something has been some males or females, not men or women. And it goes on that black men ain't shit, black women ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Which I sympathize with so many people. That's the, you know what I'm saying? But the deal is, even surrogate, like we have examples of people, and I really, you know, like organizations like James Evans on Good Times. That you know what I'm saying, that impact. A lot of children, you know what I'm saying, grew up, you know, was impacted by that image of him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You look what you got now. Yeah. It's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And it impacts you how you see. So I'm
Remember Rock, the TV show Rock as well.
Charles Dutton. Charles Dutton. Me and Charles Dutton met at DuSable Museum. Charles Dutton did 10 years in Baltimore prison. Rock.
Mm.
Right. Charles Dutton told me, he said, man, Chairman, I met your father, the chairman, not too far from here. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal brother. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the thing Rock, you know what I'm saying? Those images are important. I mean, all these, the type of, all the, man, that is discussion about the case of Miss Hood, the young brother Vernell, the Mr. Brown. This conversation has to be inclusive of the type of propaganda bombs, the images that you know what I'm saying? That, you know, again, bigger than just the restaurant, how people, you listen to some of the, go look on social media. I sympathize for both of these families too, because you know what I'm saying, because all the toxic that's coming up, I want to reiterate to them too, is not at them. You know what I'm saying? It's motherfuckers releasing shit that's been tapped into, you know what I'm saying? And it's tapped into childhood pain and drama, for, you know what I'm saying? And I hate that they, you know, and I tell you, you know what I'm saying, like, even with me as an organizer, it don't be at me. It be, you know what I'm saying, be the attack on our people, you know what I'm saying? So I sympathize with that. But I was curious to that. I was on train of thought where I was going. But I was visiting him. And I really wanted that to happen, but again, he's back out. But it's a lot more that has to happen, you know what I'm saying, for this whole conversation, you know what I'm saying? What is those, what's this discussion, are people talking about that, you know what I'm saying, about the case, the young kid,
So we haven't even had that conversation with them yet.
Did?
Yeah, we didn't even have that yet. This is literally this is literally the third day.
Yeah.
It just started this week.
Do you think that on social media, people your age range, what other people saying something about it?
Majority of everybody happy, you know, that he just got out. That the kid was able to get out and the mama, you know, because how I personally felt about it when I seen it, you know, I was triggered. Any man hitting a woman like that, first and foremost. So me personally, I felt like shit, he got what he deserved, if you ask me, straight up. Because any nigga hit my mama like that, it's going down. Like, period. This is damn near the same way.
Yeah.
Like that's wild as hell. So for me, like, I didn't even get to speak to a lot of people about it, because me, I was the only person I spoke to about it was him, Chairman Allen, right there. Yeah. That's the only person I spoke to about it. But it was real fucked up. So for me, seeing that and the propaganda around it, it was even comments on Instagram on the Chicago Media Takeout where niggas was like, they was just cracking jokes though. Yeah. But this shit's so serious. Yeah. Like it ain't even a joking matter. Yeah. But most of the comments on the Chicago Media Takeout page, not discrediting them or anything. Yeah. But a lot of this shit was jokes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
that's a point to note too, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, and I thought we try to cover stuff with humor. You know what I'm saying? As you say, that's laugh stuff from crime. You know what I'm saying? But you're right, brother. It's a serious situation. and like the impact, like another saying, Field Marshal George Jackson said in regards to prison, no man leaves that place unaffected. And I'm paraphrase, no man or woman leaves that place unaffected. And like just the days, the meeting, and I'm gonna say this too about social media. Let me say this. I'm gonna say I know this is probably going to fall on deaf ears. I'll be trying to, like I say, I'll be like even the flyer trying to be conscious and sensitive on something. Because a lot of times you don't have no control with the spread. I was in Belize recently, and I was in the back alley walking through. I mean, when the hood, I'm just like you. I mean, no lights, no nothing. I'm talking about just impoverished. I'm talking about just just impoverished. And I seen on the wall spray painted Crips. And I thought about it. I said, man, it was one TV like in like 3 blocks, 3 blocks. And I thought about how these youngsters who really can't relate to this, they just seen this image, you know what I'm saying? And you never know the impact, you know what I'm saying, with the words you saying. I said, man, these cats ain't got nothing, you know what I'm saying? You can see, I said, damn, you gotta be, I'd be real cautious, you know what I'm saying? Like, you saying certain things, that, like the impact, and I know, we become immune or cold or stoic, a criminal psychologist said behavior is affected by consequences. Most motherfuckers know they just can say, Mike Tyson say shit. Motherfuckers, this is the age motherfuckers say they want to say though. But it does not fall on deaf ears, the statements, you know what I'm saying? It does impact, you know what I'm saying, the way we view each other, the terms we use. Notice I say a person was demoralized. I never said it was a dope fiend, a strung out, or this lady was a strawberry or hype. Demoralized. You know what I'm saying? See, when America, U.S. aggression against Vietnam, they reference the people as VCs. They're not people. So you were killing VCs. They call them Viet Cong. Look at an interview with Minister U.E.P. Newton. They was interviewing him, and the reporter kept saying about the Viet Cong. He never responded. And the lady said, so what's up with the Viet Cong? He said, you talking about the Vietnamese people? They themselves are not referring to themselves as Viet Cong. You follow what I'm saying? Right. See, terms, you know what I'm saying? And like in Somalia, they had a whole propaganda campaign to call them skinnies. You follow what I'm saying? And so now you're not killing people. You know what I'm saying? It impacts you. I remember on that criminal Geraldo Rivera show one time, years back. There was a case in Detroit, Michigan. And the lady, the sister, was on a bridge and she was being beat down. And they filmed it, and the cars was going past her while she was being beat down. And nobody responded to it. It was like normal. And you know what I'm saying? And, she was, I think her top was off. You know, she had no top on. And the guy who had the case of beating down, he was in jail. And talking to her, and one thing that her mother said that stuck with me. Her mother told the guy that had the case for beating her. I looked past him. I looked at the response of the people, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, even this video now, I'm studying our response, like how we immune to this whole, you know what I'm saying, what happened. Yeah, I'm the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the lady told the guy, she said, to you, that was a strawberry or a hype. She said, that was my daughter and her mother. I said, damn. You know what I'm saying? You can, in war, you can become desensitized, you know what I'm saying? And you see all these, you know what I'm saying? You think like somebody's going to jail. So I really, I mean, that's why I'm throwing these age ranges out. How Miss Hood is, how Mr. Brown was, how the child is. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing these terms. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy was on the social media. They told me this dude had this case, messing with this young girl, and he was talking about. He was saying it. He said the guy took the girl to the hotel, but the way he said it, he kept on saying, "Remember how old she is?" I said, "Damn," because your brain hearing this guy and the girl went to the hotel. You can forget, you know what I'm saying? And the dude, he probably said, do not forget now. How old is girl? I said, damn, that's good he doing. Because the brain, you know what I'm saying? You hear like gun. Matter of fact, let me ask you this question too, Norman, I got you. What's the gun laws over there? How do people, better yet, how do people view the gun over there in Canada? That's a better question. How do they view the gun? What's the politics of the gun?
It's supposed to be, it's harder to get a gun. You can't walk into a store and just buy a gun. You have to have certain qualifications. But the right wing, you know, they got groups up there lobbying. They want to be like this. What the far right is talking about. They want a wild, wild west situation. But it's very difficult to the gun thing. They're strict on the gun thing in Canada.
If you hear somebody, if you hear about Is a person considered to be like, and I say the politics of it, is a person considered to be like I say like politics of the gun, I mean like doing prohibition. The state did such a job with alcohol. People say, "Oh, you're a bad person if you drink alcohol." You know what I'm saying? But really, it was against the law. That's all. Like Scott, like Face the Ghetto Boy say, "Motherfuckers disrespect God for disrespect the law." The gun, Minister People say we must even politicize the gun. Is a person considered a bad person? For, you know what I'm saying? For even talking about or acknowledging or even dealing with having a gun. That's what you know what I'm saying. What's the how is it like? Because I think white people they say like even marijuana right now. CBD, it's beautiful now. You know what I'm saying? The herbs and it's nice. The smoke herb, the edible. It's a nice politically. It's a nice thing now. 10 years ago, bad. Lock them up, give them life. The killer, bad person. You know what I'm saying? That's the politics of it. You know what I'm saying? And depending on dice game. Oh, bad person. Oh, casinos. Oh, that's nice. We need some vacation. You know what I'm saying? So it's political. So the gun. Depends that we know the both of that really was the Panther bill. So go ahead, brother.
So all they can, send a memo out in all of the 4 newspapers in Toronto, all of the daily newspapers in Montreal and Vancouver and Halifax. They can change that overnight. The gun, like you're saying, the gun.
No, not the electoral. No, not the electoral part. The mindset of people when they. Okay, you heard about this? Okay, the situation with the shooting. How do people view? You know what I'm saying? Is it cool? Is it chic or is it bad? How do people view the oppressed community being able to arm themselves, defend themselves? You know what I'm saying? See, Chicago really had the toughest gun laws in the country, in Cook County. But how? When you hear about this, someone being armed how do people? What comes to mind? Is it like right on, defend yourself, or is it a bad person?
Well, first of all, Toronto, Canada is made up of many communities. So I would say if you're coming from El Salvador or you're coming from South Africa, parts of Africa, it's like. They would view it differently from someone that's coming from Britain.
Yes, that's what I'm telling. That's what I'm getting at.
Coming from Britain.
That's what I'm getting at.
Coming from Britain.
There you go.
It's cool for you to have.
That's what I'm talking about.
And people in Lagos and in Ghana in the English speaking parts, but he can't carry a gun.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I know we have an international audience. And there are people outside of Chicago may even hear about the sister, Ms. Hood, her family was a child with a gun. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to put everything in context when people hear about it. I heard, you know what I'm saying? I remember, what was that? One time was the Young Miss Sunderford case, the young brother in Chicago. And I remember, I think it was Roland Martin, when they like, this guy was in the gang at 12 years old. Or something. And people in Chicago was like, your point is what? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you like brother said, it's like you're born in, not sworn in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You start putting stuff in like going to Liberia in 1978. I can't believe these children got no gun. Do you know where you at? You know what I'm saying? The conditions, the politics of it, not vice versa. You know what I'm saying? What impacts you. You know what I'm saying? So to put that, that's what I was trying to get, to put this in context when we have a conversation, because I thought people take sound bites. You know what I'm saying? They look at it. You know, just put stuff in context. Let's say like even and win into a certain mindset. It's kind of like a side note too, though. Even one of the comrades, in fact, this Deputy Field Marshal, we talking. There's some brothers watching the interviews of Tupac. Somebody actually said they didn't know Tupac even had a daddy.
Come on,
you know. I said, damn.
Yeah, I've been seeing his father.
But no, a lot of people a lot of people didn't even think that he like biological. I'm talking that even not that he had a father. I said, damn, everybody Jesus? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying, man? Mother, I mean, really, the politics of a father. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's. I tell you, that's it. That's what I say. The balance in our community, the men and the women, the balance. You know what I'm saying? The whole ecosystem, the mindset, the politics of it. A comedian made a joke the other day. He said, man, he did a study on all holidays. He said Father's Day ranks in like the last. He said Halloween is before Father's Day. He said, man, you can talk about goblins and shit before, you know what I'm saying? And then we was coming a cigar lounge the other day. And the day before Father's Day, and the young lady told the guy, Merry Christmas. He said, huh? She said, Merry Christmas. She would not tell him Father's Day. She told him, I'm not saying that. She told him, she told him Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the politics of it. You know what I'm saying?
Tupac's father was Huey P. Newton's bodyguard when he came.
He did. The Philadelphia Convention minister you here spoke. He was on detail. He was on detail in. And here's another assessment. In fact, they have some of the convention, some of the Philadelphia in July. Comrade Rebel Diaz reached out to me to come to do that. Yeah, he's on detail in, and that's it. That's important to put in context of where people come from and all that. You know what I'm saying? The lineage. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, even not just even the biological lineage, the contradictions in our community, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I tell you, it's old saying. They say behind every great man is a great woman. And I be thinking, I say not only a great woman, a great man, a great woman, a community. And also, behind every fucked up motherfucker, it's a fucked up motherfucking man, fucked up male. Real talk. And that nothing operates as an island of its own. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We ain't no cliff notes in this in Cub class. That dynamic, you know what I'm saying? They study, you know, so when you come from, that's what, like when you think in courts and stuff, they go through your background, where you grew up at, you know what I'm saying? All that, you know what I'm saying? What movies you watch, you know what I'm saying? They know what to strike. Like when the police come to, they walk in the room with women. They don't ask them like, you know, you want to do some time. When they ask that question, it's not a question. Do you have any children? That strikes that maternal connection. That's a statement. That's a statement. That's a war tactic. That's a statement. And so it taps into it. You know what I'm saying? And that again, we have to, like, the way that they slept. When I was in Africa, going through slave dungeons, coming out, there's placing of the rooms where they raped the women at, where they raped the men at. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it. You know what I'm saying? I remember going through the one part where they would rape the women at. They would bring before they threw them on the ship. You walk right past the men. So you follow what I'm saying? So they would rape the women. You know, this the breaking process. You know what I'm saying? It's the break. So you helpless, you handcuffed. And a lot of people have a reaction. The both of them come out. Why you ain't do nothing? You know what I'm saying? But the dynamics of it. You know what I'm saying? They can see they can castrate and kill you more than one way. You know what I'm saying? And then you breed a disdain within our communities for each other that may be dormant for a generational time period, but it's there. And all you need is a certain thing to tap into it. You know what I'm saying? They can, man, even like the coronavirus. Motherfucker, oh, we good now. That shit over. Shit. Even I wouldn't be surprised. These motherfuckers got a motherfucking button they press whenever they want to raise that shit back up. You know what I'm saying? And like the damage in our communities, they can, man, they can. What movies they come out can trigger it. What song? I wanted a sound for today's program. I said I want to get a present day song that people can relate to with men and women together. I couldn't think enough. You know what I'm saying? You look at the climate before. Marvin Gaye and what's it, Tammy Terrell, that song, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You listen to go listen to that song and listen to that song, Moneybag Yo and Glorilla. Go listen to that Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, and then you listen to that song. Then pull it. A lot of people talk about, when my man tell me the other day, I don't be listening to that shit. I gotta do. I'm a servant of the people. I gotta do. Like I told my man, he said, Jay, why you be doing these concerts? I said, I don't just drink. I ain't got to just drink no Aquafina water. I got to deal with the sewer water, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Go listen to that stuff. Listen to the terms. You know what I'm saying? Even the terms of that's just music. No, it ain't. Man, propaganda bombs are a major aspect of war. Listen to the term. Look at the hatred. Look at the put up on BET the other day. Put up the BET and what they putting out there with the City Girls, JT, cause the little Uzi throwing the phone at them, calling them bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? These dynamics, this impact. See, now you will look at a child growing up seeing James Evans and Floyd Evans. You know what I'm saying? The dynamics of duality. You know what I'm saying? Man, shit. Yeah, you produce the shit.
It's hard.
And so I'm just real. And so what you saying, even though the case at hand, Miss Hood, Mr. Brown, this really is bigger than that. The discussion, you know what I'm saying? We need to have a international tribunal with a motherfucking music clear channel, all these motherfuckers be going to hell for, you know what I'm saying? Okay, for the damage they done. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about for the motherfuckers who enacted the motherfucking laws about the man can't be in the house. You know what I'm saying? All this, we have to seize the time. The type of propaganda that's put out, you know what I'm saying? They tell these artists, you know what I'm saying, you got to come in with a hatred. You know, for black men and vice versa, you know what I'm saying? In order to make it. Go ahead, man. Let me cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good. But that's part of the reasons why I exist. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
One of the people that was the people that I listened to growing up was one, your father, Chairman Fred Sr., and Tupac. These was one of the most pivotal people for me because it was like Tupac. If anybody's seen the documentary that just came out on Hulu, he was really a black. He was really a Black Panther, but they didn't want us to know that. They wanted to villainize him and put it out there and portray him as a thug, so it could affect the psyche for real and just breed different groups of that. Because you got, you know, a rapper like Waka Flocka Flame, then you got a rapper like Kendrick. Both of them are inspired by Tupac's, but two different versions of them. Kendrick like the Tupacalypse Tupac. Flocka like the Machiavelli Tupac, where he was already, poison. He got shot, all type of stuff. The game got to him, the music game, the industry got to him, and now he ain't even on the revolutionary shit that he was. So today, what we got is the proper, like when I did Sway in the morning, Sway looked at me in my eye, was like, man, nah, because we were talking about, I was like, man, you know what they doing to us with this music industry? You know what they doing to us? He was like, no, he looked me in my eye, I was like, no, speak on that, say that to the mic. And I'm like, you know, they monetizing off our trauma. So what I mean by that is you gonna have G Herbo playing on the radio, you gonna have Lil Durk playing on the radio. You might have one J. Cole song in there. You're gonna hear Glorilla, you're gonna hear Sukihana, you're gonna hear Mellow Bucks, you're gonna hear all this motherfucking shit that's promoting us to fuck each other up. But you're not gonna hear it was surprising to hear Kendrick Lamar, we gonna be all right on the radio as much as we did. But today, what we got right now, we got Lil Durk. He trying to switch the whole thing of his whole image because he see this drill shit dying down. People want to connect with a true musician. People want to connect with somebody true from the root, from the soil, grow with you, man. You was broke and now you powerful, or you was broken and you in a community too. You in a community. That's why a lot of people gravitate towards me, because I'm not just rapping about this bullshit. I'm talking about my life. I'm speaking about what's going on in our communities. I'm speaking about killing a Yakub. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking about these things and attempting, quote unquote, to make it more commercial, popularize it to these shorties. But I'm seeing that my work is in the schools and working with the shorties, because what's being put in their face is not their fault. What's being put in their face is the grown ass motherfuckers that's behind everything that's going on in the music industry. This the most pivotal shit that's going on, because we don't have no control of what's being played over the radio, but that white guy do. That nobody that's not cut from our cloth, that don't know what we're going through, that know we need the healing in our communities. That's why Healthy Hood exists. You know what I'm saying? That's why it exists.
Let me tag in. Tag in with you on this. Let me say about Pac. Mother, got a caller. Okay, give me 1 second. Mother Comrade gave us my Tupac. Say Pac needed organization, and organization needed Tupac. The Black Panther Party suffered a military defeat, and see, a lot of times, like we made a lot of progress now, but the last, most was hopping up with black joggers who's on some Panthers. You know what I'm saying? The Black Panther Party was it's an ideology. You know what I'm saying? Like it's to that, and he cut from the cloth. He of structure. They told the doctor, say, man, he couldn't be no successful drug dealer, because you have to have a lack of empathy. You know what I'm saying? To do certain things.
Exactly.
I said at the repast with Stanley Tookie Williams. We went to the Battle of Murray Park. So Tookie Williams grew up in the climate like similar I grew up in, deprived of organizations such as the Black Panther Party, where the only option in life was given to be a Boy Scout or a banker. You know what I'm saying? See, and I said never again on our watch. The Black Panther Party it's a tangible organization. You know what I'm saying? It's a structure. See, a revolution like them. Well, I'm a revolution in my mind. Like one Black Panther Party. motherfucker, when that program came out, over 90% was at the Black Panther Party. It wasn't no abstract shit. It was strategically how to assassinate Chairman Fred. You know what I'm saying? It was like there's a breaking process, how to do it. They said J. Edgar Hoover, the former director of the FBI, said the Black Panther Party had to be destroyed by the end of 1969. They knew who to kill and who to lock up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that dynamic of that structure, and that's why people can't sell and park up, because a lot of people, their mindset be either, okay, you got to be a Boy Scout or a banker. Like I kept on, you know, saying he wanted to be a bank. He needed organization. And a lot of cats can't understand, you know what I'm saying, that of like a love for the people, you know what I'm saying? Because in the street thing dynamic, it's a certain lack of empathy that you have to have. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a structure. Like, see, structure. A lot of people have an issue with structure, right? Because their first concept of structure comes from the state. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some state entity, you know what I'm saying? Law enforcement or something. When the government tried to make it antagonistic between different, like the Stones and the Vice Lords, the FBI sent letters to the Vice Lords and told the Vice Lords they'd get them 16th Street if the Black Panther Party could open free medical center on 16th Street. And this one no new. Now people say, why did the medical center happen? It wasn't just no kumbaya shit. It's you know what I'm saying? See, the Rainbow Coalition, a lot of people get this shit fucked up. It's shit that motherfucker never put in books. You follow what I'm saying? They, you know, say, see, motherfuckers just came together, see, kumbaya, motherfuckers got together. Shit, bullshit. It's been, man, that meeting. That's why I let it go in the movie, because it's certain dynamics that could not be expressed in the movie. You follow what I'm saying? Who chairman met with? It's certain members in the Panther Party who I said, damn, was you there? Who he knew who to take or couldn't take. I'll tell you a true story. Get the Hampton House. We started fighting to get the Hampton House. No heat, no water, to my nothing. Man, we in that motherfucker, man. And one of the comrades talked, he telling me, you know what I'm saying, it was like a lack of faith, lack of confidence. He was in the Black Panther Party. He would tell me, he said, man, you know, a lot of people said, Chairman, you're going to be the save this house, man. I said, listen, it's a movie called Apocalypto. I said, Apocalypto, the young guy told the other guy, you have to leave. He said, why? He said, your fear is contagious. I said, give me some of the same confidence you gave the chairman. One comrade told me, he said, man, he was in Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? He was on magazines that get out of Vietnam. He said, when they went to go meet with the Stones, when them cats came off 400-500 deep with the arm to the teeth, he said, man, it was 10 or 11 Panthers tops. He said, when he went to that meeting with Chairman Fred, he said, to this day, I believe Chairman Fred believed that they invited him to come do a public speech. They seen a sincere, it wasn't no pissing contest to be, like this is a white dude running around now trying to hijack the Rainbow High Thurman. I think that's his name. I hope I ain't giving him a commercial. Preacher Man was the point with the young patriots. You know what I'm saying? See, it's certain guys with the party, that's what you got, what period of time, who he met with. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I tell people, we had the headquarters on 54th and Halsted, the Chairman Fred Hoover House. You just can't say it was. I knew the Moose Man for the Stones. You know what I'm saying? Which guy for the GDs? One time, one little brother, Little Rob, the Vice Lords was downstairs, and something happened. I said, man, y'all on hold for 2 weeks, man. He said, man, it's a different branch of the Vice Lords. I said, no, I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? See, we talk history. It's important. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just think everybody just came together. That dynamic of, you know what I'm saying, Cha-Cha, Mayonnaise, all that politic of it, and they seize the time. The state and park that politic. Like people say, what made the Black Panther Party unique? Like people say, well, they had guns. Shit, a lot of us had guns. Yeah. They had leather jackets. The Hells Angels had leather jackets. Or even the law. A lot of us do the law. It was the politics of the Black Panther Party. How they did security. How they, you know what I'm saying? How they dealt with relationships. You know what I'm saying? Even the gender issue. You have to put in context at the time of the Black Panther Party, you come on the heels of TV shows like Leave It to Beaver. Motherfuckers didn't even know if Pat Nixon, that was Richard Milhouse Nixon's wife. Motherfuckers didn't even know she could speak or not. I mean, like literally, they didn't know she had vocal cords. You know what I'm saying? The Black Panther Party, man, Deborah Johnson was his wife and comrade. You know what I'm saying? I mean, motherfuckers, it was leadership women. You know what I'm saying? It was, man, revolutionaries. Because you might got to be in a foxhole naked with another motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was dynamics where motherfuckers, the ante was up. Like in Latin America, Sandinistas in Latin America. It was a different dynamic of the gender issue. You know what I'm saying? And Pac was deprived of that. I was deprived of it for a long period of my life. You know what I'm saying? He was deprived of that dynamic. That was his call. He needed that. And nothing less would have sufficed for him. You know what I'm saying? It's a structure that's needed. It's a politic that's deeper than green juice, deeper than motherfuckers, some African beads. It's a politic that's able to relate to the community. You know what I'm saying? And you can have your contradictions and still be who you are. You know what I'm saying? People say, Chairman, you have any contradictions? Goddamn right. I'm damn it. We just realized 2-3 years ago, me and my mother just realized 2-3 years ago, we both wake up every morning at 4:30 in the morning. It just hit us. All our life, excuse me, all my life, after that day, this come from December 4th, 1969.
Damn.
Every morning we wake up, you know what I'm saying?
What the fuck?
See, I'll tell you one more story. I'm in California one time with his brother, his wife driving the car, right? I'm in the car with his wife and his children, their children. He not there. The lady's sister, she got 5 children in the van, in the truck. She ran out of gas. I go down and go get some gas from the gas station. When I come back, the police is pushing the van. I'm damaged. The police tell me get in the car to help push it. Man, I'm damaged. I check my damage for the greater good. I check my damage. I say, check yourself, Chairman. The sister and her children in the car. Be cool. Check your body language. You know what I'm saying? Got off the road successfully. We all have damage. One time I was doing an interview with this sister. She told me, well, I'm not damaged. I said, oh, you really fucked up then. Because this country don't move a TV without damaging it. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to ask you something.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I want
sir.
to ask you something. So right now,
That's my cue. Just came in, gave me my 2-minute warning. That's how you give my little signal to me.
I just want to ask you
Yes,
this
sir.
one thing. It's been on my mind like crazy.
Yes.
So with the gangs in Chicago, we know it ain't no motherfucking walk in the park.
Yeah.
To unite shit.
Yeah.
We know that. Even though I'm
Yeah.
rocking this unity sweater right here.
Yeah.
We know it ain't no walk in the park.
Yeah.
But how do you feel is the best way to go about that?
You
Not unifying the gangs, but at least, because I was just with Shah Jerusalem, he tried to get everybody to link, and on 67th and Green where it all started. But it ain't gonna work like that if you ain't got the kids from this hood coming out there and the OGs apologizing to them from that hood.
It's a philosophical tool that we relate to called dialectical materialism. That means things are constantly being born and dying and disintegrating. This is not
I
the
wrote
same.
that in my notes. That's what you said.
Yes, indeed. These are different. You have to take into account what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? The organizational question is a different dynamic now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got cats who, like, you know what I'm saying, you got the structures now, you know what I'm saying? So we can engage in idealism, say you had structure and organization. You know, it was a time period, even that term. Those are fighting words at a certain period. The word gang. That was an insult. Go look at old graffiti on walls. You had BDN, BPSN, CVLN, Nation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those are the first before you do gumbo. Before you make a gumbo, you have first say, wait a minute, let's make sure that this is not this is sausage, this is seafood. You know what I'm saying? Your ingredients are not, you know what I'm saying? First of all, let's be clear what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? These cats may look, you got mutated forms of different organizations now. You know what I'm saying? So
insane.
It's mutated. It's like even the drugs now, it's synthetic. It ain't no real cocaine. The weed now, you know what I'm saying? So you get first of all, assess what we dealing with. Sun Tzu said the cardinal principle of warfare is know thyself and know thy enemy. First, you got to identify. I got to close down because it's giving me my cue. It's time to roll out, y'all. Y'all listen here. Y'all, hey man, this been phenomenal. Hey, about Carl who was in queue, forgive me, forgive us. You know what I'm saying? We get caught up. Same time, same station next week, y'all. Keep y'all heads up, eyes open, fist clench, y'all. Everything is political, including this case. Again, y'all, what's it called? Free them all.
Free them all.
Take us out. Yes, sir. Oh, yo, tell me some love. That's my man. That's my man. That's my man. Listen to this song. Listen to this song. Listen to this song. Listen to this song. Take us out with this song. Take us out to this song. Take us out. I got Chairman Fred right here. You supposed to FaceTime me, my man, right? Here's my brother here. Hey, you, man. I love you, brother. I love you, man. And you, hey, not much I talk about you, man. Okay, I love you, man. Make sure you get my number. We get a radio show every Wednesday. We get 21 day. Give my number, man. Man, I love you, brother. Man, I don't get started. We do a big thing for Chairman Fred Senior's birthday, man. Yeah, I need you on deck, man. I'm gonna send you all the details to you. That's what it is. Make sure you get the number, man. I love you, man. August 30th. Yes, sir. Love and respect. Right on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, boy. I'm gonna hit you up later, bro. I'm gonna give you the
Fred.
Respect. Right on. Where the fence at? Right on.
Oh, question. You said August 30th is,
Yeah.
I have that MLP still?
Hold on, let me get better.